Hey guys, what's up? It's KraDeNine here, and I kinda just want to take a moment to rant my mind away in a sense of I kinda want to defend MapleStory 2. Going back to my two MapleStory 2 videos, I've noticed a very cynical pattern, for lack of a better phrase in mind. Many people have said, like, MapleStory 2 is gonna ruin MapleStory 1, what have they done to MapleStory, they totally ruined it, and you know, those kind of things. And you know, me and a lot of my friends, we spoke about it for quite a while about what we think about MapleStory 2. The general consensus was it's not bad. We're all thinking of it as something that's going to replace the first MapleStory, the 2D MapleStory we've all grown in love and even maybe hate a little bit, but that's completely inaccurate. It's not replacing MapleStory 2, it's not replacing the first MapleStory in any shape, way, or form, except it's carrying on the name. That's really it. It's kind of like, the best example I can do for all of you Sonic the Hedgehog fans is that it's kind of like going from Sonic Generations, which is, you know, fast Sonic. We all know the Sonic, we grew up with modern Sonic. And then you have Sonic Boom, which is this new game, and it looks like Crash Bandicoot with Jak and Daxter. It's kind of like, it's using the name of Sonic, but it's in a different universe. That's kind of a good way to put it. I'm trying to phrase this better, but using other MMOs is kind of hard. Like, there's no such thing as Terra 2. I mean, I could be using Guild Wars 2 as an example, but I've never really played it, so I don't know. But it's not going to replace the first MapleStory. Another example is Final Fantasy XI and Final Fantasy XIV. Both are MMOs. Both are games that you could play right now. Final Fantasy XI is still running after so many years, and Final Fantasy XIV, which is moderately new, is not replacing 11 in any way, shape, or form for a long time. So, to everyone who's going, you know, Nexon of Korea totally ruined MapleStory 2, it should be something different. You know, you gotta kind of understand, this game is targeted more toward children. You might be thinking they should cater to the adults, the teenagers who grew up with this game. Remember, I played since beta. I started playing when I was like 12 or 13. I'm like, you know, you can add up the years. But it's like, I understand from a marketing standpoint, from a I want to get this audience standpoint, it's not something we can do with. I mean, if you're a MapleStory fan and you really thought MapleStory 2 would be darker and grimmer, go play something like Terra or Guild Wars 2 or even World of Warcraft. Those games are like MapleStory 2 in 3D, in all honesty. Like, we've all grown up with MapleStory 1. Even the new players who just started, you know, if you look at MapleStory 2, the style is basically the same. You have chibis that look almost identical to, you know, the 2D versions. Although it's not really hard to convert a 2D chibi into 3D, I mean, the style is basically the same. But I mean, they captured MapleStory in 3D, and that's what I like about it. I mean, obviously we have the mini games. It's not too focused on grinding as far as we know right now. I don't know what the level cap would be. I'm assuming either 60, 70, or 200. But I don't think 200 for a 3D game is a good idea. Unless they're going to go by the Mabinagi system, which would be stupid. But again, this is more towards the people who have really ill feelings about the game because they fear it taking over the first MapleStory. It's not going to, guys. In all honesty, I'm pretty hyped for it. I mean, cartoony games tend to last longer. I mean, if you look at something like, I'm sorry if you guys aren't like console gamers, but I really can't use any other example. If you look at something like Jak and Daxter, no, even if you go back to Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation 1, and then you compare it to something like, no, Crash Bandicoot kind of aged decently. Well, no, you compare Crash Bandicoot to something modern, it didn't age too well. Now, okay, the best example I can think of is Metal Gear Solid, the original one, on the PS1. It does not look good. It literally does not look good these days. It did not age well. But something cartoony like Crash Bandicoot, it by no means looks good anymore, but it does look decent. Cartoony games, cartoons with a cartoony style or anime style that aren't too detailed tend to last longer in this life cycle. But I mean, that's MapleStory in general. Another example is World of Warcraft. It did not look good. Then they started to update graphics, and these days, World of Warcraft, especially recently, they upped the graphics. Have you seen this? Have you seen the new like character designs? It's pretty cool. But what I'm saying is, guys, if you have issues with MapleStory 2 and you really don't like it and you can't get through with the cartoony style, you can't get used to something about it, you fear it's going to replace MapleStory 1, the best thing I can tell you is ignore it. It's not going to affect your MapleStory 1 gameplay, and it shouldn't. Another thing is that a lot of people are complaining about is pay to win. That's what MapleStory 1 has become. You know, you buy cubes, you buy NX, you buy mesos. Now here's the problem. A game, an MMO, cannot, and I repeat, cannot survive as what would you call? Play for free, you know, no pay to pay, no pay to win. Did I literally say pay to pay for a while? There's no pay to win. It's impossible. You have to have a pay to win system in one way, shape, or form, or in a way of pay to get more. Not necessarily pay to win, but pay to get more, which in the end will kind of be pay to win. My example would be every single MMO possible, unless it's subscription based. If a game is subscription based, then pay to win is a lot less. You know, there's a shorter curve for it. If the game is pay once and then play, like Guild Wars 2, again, a lower pay to win curve. But if a game is 100% free, it might be pay to win free, you know, no pay to win for a good year, maybe maximum a year, maybe a few months. But it will eventually become pay to win. So if you're really hoping for MapleStory 2 not to be pay to win, if you're going next on it, you know, don't make it pay to win. I hate to break it to you, but as a marketing, a business standpoint, they're going to lose money if they don't make a pay to win system or pay to get more system. And you know, I really hate to be the guy who's going very cynical on this, but you gotta be realistic. If you're arguing and if you're yelling at Nexon not to make it pay to win, you're kind of screwing them over. Yes, I'm saying that, you're screwing Nexon over, not the other way around. But that way they won't be able to progress the game as fast, there won't be a lot of new content, and it'll pretty much be a standstill. That's what happened to MapleStory originally. Beta till about 2006. It was just 2007. No, late 2006. It was just play for fun. Then it became pay to win at a very minimal rate. It became double experience. They had pets, you know, and slowly started adding up until what we have now with NX cubes, you know, anvils, everything basically. Wow, I've been talking for 8 minutes, but in the end, it's going to become pay to win in one way, shape, or form, whether it's double experience, whether it's something like a meso sack, whether it's, you know, pay like $2 to enter this party quest, or pay $2 to get this cool mini game that gives you 100 experience bonus or something, or get this pet which will loot your items for you, you know, because you gotta think about it. Without such elements, there's not gonna be a game. Almost every MMO, wow, my English is going crazy now. Almost every MMO a year later tends to lose its pay to play for fun ratio and go pay to win. But that's me, that's my opinion, and that's probably the realistic opinion. And I'd love to hear what you guys have in mind. My questions are to you guys, and there's going to be a few questions if you don't mind answering. What do you think about MapleStory 2? Just give me like a one sentence. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you feel iffy on it? How do you feel about MapleStory 2 in general? Like, do you think it's going to get better than MapleStory 1? Or did you ever have the fear of it taking over MapleStory 1? Yes, that kind of blends into the first question I asked, but just keep those two in like 1 or 2 sentences. And my third and final question is, if MapleStory 2 does in fact become pay to win, will you continue playing or will you quit on the spot? Because unless everyone starts quitting, a game is going to keep running. One person does not make a huge difference no matter how much you spend on the game. But that's my cynical opinion, that's my cynical rant. And like I said, I'd love to hear you guys, I'd love to hear your opinions. And when MapleStory 2 comes out, you'll see some videos from me. Yeah, Okay, that was it, guys. See you later, have fun, and good day.